So, second page. Alright, suppose the inequality y is greater than negative 1/2 x plus 4 can be used to describe a region of the United States on the U.S.-Mexican border. On the next page, graph the inequality and the function entry line. We're going to delete f1 of x and type the entire inequality. So, go to the next page. Write this down so you guys don't have to flip back. Yep. It's okay. Doesn't matter if it says 99. So you're just going to clear that out. And you're going to put y. And then what? Greater than. We're dealing with greater than here. Okay. Negative 1/2 x. So put in your negative. Your 1/2. Just a second. And then hit enter.
What's the equation again? Y is greater than negative 1/2 x.
Alright, so what do you notice about this? It's got a negative slope, okay. What else? It's shaded it. Where is it shaded? Above it, because we're dealing with what? Greater than. What else do you notice about it?
Dotted line, not a solid.
Dotted line, not a solid. Okay, so go to the next page.
And like the 4 is where it crosses the y.
Good. It's the y intercept, right? Okay, so what does the dotted line represent, and why is it not solid? Not solid. So what do we decide? Why is it dotted and not solid? Yeah.
Because it's not greater than or equal to or less than or equal to.
Right. It's dotted because it's not greater than or equal to unless or equal to. And what does that mean?
That those aren't part of the solution set.
Perfect. Those are not part of the solution set. So in your own words, I want you to tell yourself what it means. Why is it dotted and not solid? What does that represent? Okay. All right. So which side represents U.S. territory? Mexican territory. Use the text tool to label this on the graph. So go back. What would it say? Suppose the inequality can be used to describe a region of the United States on the U.S.-Mexican border. So what region is the U.S. territory? Shaded. Well, what does it say? Let's go back again. Suppose the inequality y is greater than negative 1/2 x plus 4 can be used to describe a region of the U.S. on the U.S.-Mexican border. On the next page. Okay, so.
Well, if we're looking at it like the map, wouldn't the top part be the United States?
You're not looking at it like you would the map. We're just talking about the border. So, go back again and read it. Suppose the inequality can be used to describe a region of the U.S. on the U.S.-Mexican border. Doesn't say. Okay, so let's say, we're going to say the bigger part is, let's say this part is the U.S., okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to use a text tool. Where do you think I might find a text tool? Menu. Good. And we're going to go down to, well, you're going to go actions, and down to text. Okay, so in the shaded region, all you have to do is double click to get, or click to get a text box, and you're going to put in US. And then you're just going to move it over to the other side, and we're going to put Mexico. Okay. Everybody now understands how to use the text tool, right? That text tool stays on for as long as it's there. See it up here? How do you get out of a text tool? Escape. Good. All right, so we labeled our graph, right?
Yeah, how do you move it?
Hit enter when you're done. Does that get you out of the text box?
Yeah.
Now just use your navpad to get over there.
Break your calculator.
Okay. Alright, if the point 16, negative 2 represents a town, is it a Mexican town? Is this a solution to the inequality and why? So, 16, negative 2. Here we are. Where's 16, negative 2 going to be? Can we see it over there?
No.
What do you think you should do?
All over?
Yeah, grab your graph and move it. Just grab the screen and pull it. Okay, so there's no more messing around with the window. You literally just grab and pull. Okay, so now can we see more of the graph?
No, not yet.
How do I figure out points on the line? What tool allows us to get points on the line? Trace. Go back to menu. What do I need to change about trace first? Trace settings. So go down to trace, settings, and you're going to do what? Yep, enter value, and you're going to choose. Good. So now you've changed your trace settings to 1. Go back to menu and down to trace. Graph trace.
Only let me 2 points.
Say it again.
It only let me pick. It jumps from like one side to one side.
What are you typing in right now?
Why is it not coming in nicely for me?
Yeah, it's only allowing me to go to 2 different places.
Yeah, me too.
Alright, let's change our trace step to 0.5. I don't know why that would make any difference, but we can try it. It's a little buggy.
Still only allowing me to go.
Can you move your cursor and touch points on there?
Like 20.5.
Maybe because that 16's not in the line.
No, it's up here. Alright, so just look up here at mine.
We keep it 0.5.
What was the point we were talking about?
60 negative 2.
Okay, so 16 negative 2 is going to be somewhere in here, right? I've got 15.9 negative 3.95. So is 16 going to have negative 2?
Yeah.
It's going to be in here somewhere, right? Okay, so is it a Mexican town or a U.S. town? U.S. Okay. And how do we come to figure that out? It's in the shaded region, but I'm not sure why our trace tool was functioning like that. Okay, so represents a town. Is it a Mexican town? No. Is it a solution to the inequality? Yes. So no.
It doesn't answer if it's a Mexican town, if it's a U.S. town or a Mexican town.
Oh, it does? Sorry, I can't see half of my thing. So it's U.S. And we said it's a solution, right? That doesn't say solution.
Maybe in a different language it does.
Maybe. And how do we know it was a solution?
This is in the shaded region.
Shaded region, good. Okay, so it's in the shaded region, that's how we know it's a solution. Is everybody okay with that? Is this review?
Yeah.
Okay, so I taught this in 8th grade. Not to you guys. So everybody should have seen this before.
I think we're going to be in 9th grade and Mr. Canadian. God bless.
God bless you. Okay, so use the point tool to place a point on the graph that is not a solution to the inequality. What are the coordinates of these points? All right, so go back to your graph. Where are you going to find the point tool?
FU,
and you
points and lines,
points and lines,
point.
point, and you're going to put a point somewhere that's not a solution. And where am I going to find a place that's not a solution? In the not shaded part. Okay. Oop, I just put 2 on there. That's okay. Okay, so here's my point. How am I going to figure out the coordinates of it?
You gotta get out of the point tool.
Get out of your point tool, go back to menu, points, lines, and
Flip point again.
oops. Isn't there one that says coordinates? So that was in your actions. You could use coordinates, which is number
I
7.
still found that I didn't do anything.
Didn't work for you?
Oh,
Then you have to click on the point. So that for me is a solution. Are we all going to have the same solution? No, everybody's going to have a different solution, right? So I want you to write down the solution on the page that we were talking about before.
How do you highlight it?
I don't think you can. Which is why it just keeps moving whenever I go near it. Okay, so you just have to remember the point. And then pop it in 2 pages back. And you're going to put it in parentheses, right? Okay. So the following systems of inequalities represents the fenced-in area of someone's yard. Graph the inequalities on the next page. So we have a couple that we're dealing with here. The only one we're going to get stuck with is x is greater than or equal to 0. I can't graph that on my calculator. Okay, so we're going to have to understand that that's part of it and be able to see it without this, okay? So, you guys ready? We're going to graph a bunch of lines here. Okay, so we're not going to put an x is greater than or equal to 0. It's not going to work. But you are going to put in y is greater than or equal to 0. Now, greater than or equal to is control greater than.
And then it says syntax error.
So go ahead and put in the rest.
How do you fix it? Control G.
So control G to get your box back, to put in the next equation.
So we're not doing the first one?
Right, you can't put in x is greater than or equal to 0. Do you guys know why?
No.
It's not a
That
function.
That wouldn't let me.
It's not a function, and we, for some reason we can't graph vertical lines on a calculator. I don't know why.
Is that negative x plus a?
So control G to bring it back. Keep putting them in.
No.
So we have all these. So far, where's our problem lying?
Me.
Where is our solution so far?
Oh, the darkest shade?
The darkest shade, right? We also have x is greater than or equal to 0. Greater than or equal to means it's going to be a solid line right on the y-axis. And when I shade, where is it going to be shaded?
Mr. State Fair.
What?
New York State has that.
Whatever way the.
Mr. Stan wants.
Well, it's going to be greater than or equal to 0. So which way, left or right? To the right. So what I want, what the solution is going to be, is this whole area right here. Why did I pick that piece?
But they
So
all
between all
overlap.
the lines.
That's where they all overlap. Good.
Like up there, I can't tell which area is darkest.
Why don't you change your contrast? I believe it's.
Can we draw on our screen?
Can you draw on your screen? No. Not unless you want to pay me $130. Okay, so there's your solution, right? By the way, what kind of shape is this?
Holly?
Polygon. Good.
Do we have a curve with
I
kind
changed
of
my
lines?
contrast, but that top and the bottom one are changing like at the same thing, like they're both just as dark as the other one.
What are you gonna do with yours that has the 4 lines in the darkest?
It's a slight difference, I guess. We could change the attributes to it.
So is that gonna be a problem for me on test?
It shouldn't be. Just have to look carefully. All right, so there's your solution. So who could give me a point that's a solution of this?
1, 1, 2.
1, 1. What else, Brianna?
2.
1, 2. Okay, so those are all solutions. We have more than one solution?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, notice that all of these are greater than or equal to. What does that tell me about these? They're all solid lines, and what do we know about them as far as solution is concerned? The fence. It's the fence. What do we know about it? What does it tell me about the person's yard? Yeah, but is it part of their yard?
It is.
Yes, it is. Why? Are they part of the solution, or is the fence part of the
Yeah.
solution? Yeah, because they're solid, because it's greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, means it's part of the solution. Okay? Are we all okay with that? Okay. Alright, we're not going to do this piece. Well, yeah, we are going to do this piece. Why are the lines solid in the context of the system of inequalities, in the context of the problem? Part of the solution. That's exactly what you're saying. Nice job. Part of the solution. Because we need the fence to be part of the solution. We're not going to put the fence in somebody else's yard, right? Hope not.
I would just take them all out. So now from next to this.
Okay. We're not going to worry about this page. I want you to skip right over that. Suppose the owner wanted to place a post in the yard on which to hang a bird feeder. Give a point that could represent the post. What does this point represent for the system of inequalities? So remember those points we just talked about that were solutions? Okay, so I want you to give a point that would be a solution. And what does it represent? I just said it 3 times. A solution. Okay? Just give one of those points.
We're supposed to get through all of this.
Just 1, 1.
There's 4.5 pages. A lot of pages.
It represents a solution. A solution. Are there more than one solution?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's lots.
Did you make the practice or did you take it from somebody?
This was already, it was pre-made. I didn't have to make this. Okay, so now you guys are going to practice, okay? You're given the equations up here. Now look at the way the equations are given. Can you graph them the way they are?
No, we gotta change them to y equals.
Y equals. Good. So you're going to have to change these to y equals, and I need you to remember one thing. When you multiply or divide by a negative, what do? You flip the inequality sign. Okay, good. So you guys are going to do some practice on your own for a little while. I'm going to come around and have a little chat with each of you. Okay, so this is what you're working on. You're working through this practice. You will need a